what is the next thing I want to talk about? The next thing I want to talk about is people always reschedule for the test. You can't be doing that now. Make sure you take the test once you schedule for it. Like, make sure you really read the rationales, because the rationales are going to help you to answer the subsequent questions. You really need to focus on the rationale. So what is my take on the Nclex? Is the Nclex too hard? I can't tell you what is too hard, what is too easy, but one thing I can tell you is if I can pass the Nclex, you can do it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nemi Bunny. If you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Today I want to be talking to you guys about how I studied for the Nclex. I'm excited to share this video with you guys. I'm excited to share this detail. If you need to grab your cup of coffee, go ahead. If you need to grab a cup of water, go ahead. Grab a notepad and a pen, because I'm going to give you guys a full detail on how I studied for the Nclex. So I'm going to go straight to the point. What is the first thing I did when I studied for the Nclex? The first tip I did was I prayed. Oh my God, I prayed. Prayer was the center of it all. Throughout nursing school, taking the Nclex, anything, I prayed. Taking the test, I prayed. Clinicals, I prayed. Everything, I prayed. What is your faith? Are you a Christian? If you're not a Christian, you're missing out something. What is your faith? Prayer works. So the next thing I did was staying positive. Just getting into nursing school, oh my God. A lot of people were talking about how many people that have taken the Nclex, how many people that have failed the Nclex. That alone can even increase your level of anxiety. And guess what? Anxiety then plays a role on your test scores. So I stayed positive throughout nursing school. I didn't let the negativity play a role. So I just stay focused on believing in myself, knowing that I'm going to pass the Nclex when it's time for me to take it. So that is one thing I want you guys to do. And what is the next step? The next thing I want to talk to you guys about. A lot of people take 6 months to take the Nclex. If you are that person, you better have a rethink now. 6 months, what is the reality of you taking the Nclex, like studying for the Nclex in January, studying for the Nclex in January and then going to take it in June? I'm telling you, how would you remember all the content you study? What are you doing? Trying to memorize the signs and symptoms? No. You can never know all the signs and symptoms, and that's what a lot of people do. Like, even when I was in nursing school, by the time I got to second semester, I quit memorizing those signs and symptoms. Like, I just pick the key sign and symptom that has to deal with that disease, and that's what you need to do. You can't know it all, so just know if it's GI, it has to do with nausea and vomiting. So I'm gonna give you guys detail about that on a different video, but I'm telling you, the longer you wait, you're putting yourself into trouble. The longer you wait, there's a less chance of you passing the Nclex. So make sure you go take that test ASAP. Do not waste time. So what is the next thing you need to do when you're studying for the Nclex? The next step you need to do is make sure you pick a key resources that will help you to study for the Nclex. A lot of people have so many resources that they use. Some people use Saunders, some people use ATI, some people use Uworld, some people use Bremer, some people use Hesse. And guess what? All these resources are great resources, but guess what? Guess what? They are only going to cause confusion for you. So the key thing is for you to use the resources that best work for you. If you know a resource that works for you, use that resources. So that's one thing you want to do. Next step I want to talk about it. When you're going to take the Nclex, make sure you go by your instinct. If A comes into your mind, go with A. Just click and move. Click and move. Do you want me to do the dance for you? Click and move. So when I was in nursing school, my 4th semester, I was really struggling. My last semester, sorry to say, like, I don't know, I had too much anxiety. I was like, you know, 4th semester, I was stressing. So I was just not doing too good, because guess what? I was changing my answers a lot. So my instructor would always tell me to just click and move. So when I took the Nclex, that's what I did. I clicked and moved, and guess what? I got 61 questions. So click and move. Your first instinct is always the right answer. So don't second guess yourself. Just click and move and you'll be fine. What is the next step you need to do? You need to really review your lab values. Make sure you review your lab values. Make sure you have your lab values. Make sure you print it out. You put it in your kitchen wall, on your kitchen wall, your bathroom, your room, living room, wherever you can see it, wherever it can be accessible for you to look at it. Make sure you just put it at a place where it is out there for you to look at it, you know. So make sure you do that. That will also help you reviewing your labs, because I had a lot of questions that has to do with lab, and I have a lot of classmates that also had the same thing. Now, what is the next step you need to do? The next step you want to do is staying positive. Are you positive? Do not let the negative internet make you think that you're not going to pass the Nclex. Someone else's story is not your story, okay? Someone else's story cannot be your story. So if someone failed it, it doesn't mean you're going to fail it. Me taking the Nclex, I would never think like I would take it and pass with 61 questions. Not that I didn't think I would not pass, but I wasn't expecting to pass it with 61 questions. That's like almost me passing with 60 questions, right? So when I went, I just, you know, I studied for the Nclex 2 weeks. And Uworld has like 2,180 something questions, something like that, but I didn't do 959 questions, something like that. So I didn't finish the Uworld questions, but I was ready to go take the test. I was tired of studying, so I took it in 2 weeks. And guess what? When I went to take it, was I feeling confident? No, I wasn't, but I studied and I felt like I did what I needed to do. So I wasn't going to wait any longer trying to study for the Nclex. So I just said, you know what, I am going to go ahead and take this test. I am tired of studying, so I went to take it. Another thing I want to tell you is it doesn't matter how long you study for the Nclex. The key thing is studying the right content, knowing how to study, and studying the right frame of time. And when you study for the Nclex, you have to set priorities. You have to be firm. You have to have a goal every day. If you do those things, trust me, you are going to make it. When I studied for the Nclex, I made my mind up. I didn't really speak to my mom all the time. Like my friends, you know, they were like, oh, you're done with school, we need to like hang out. So I was like, well, I have these 2 weeks to study for the Nclex. So yeah, I was just like, I didn't like really do a lot of fun stuff. Like I was dedicated. I graduated on the Tuesday, and on Friday I started studying. I took the Nclex May 26th. I found out I passed on the 27th. So that is one thing I want to tell you too. You have to stay positive, and then you have to set goals, and you have to set priorities. So if you do those, I am telling you, you will pass. You will pass it. Nothing is impossible with God. With God, all things are possible. So that is something I want to talk to you guys about. And now I am going to go into details on how I use Uworld and what a lot of people don't tell you about using Uworld. Now, how do you use Uworld? The key thing about using Uworld is people say Uworld is the best, you know, they blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you the key thing to use Uworld. The key thing when you want to use Uworld, when you're using Uworld, what you need to do is when you go to the section where it has med search. Now, don't just click med search. And when you click med search, it's just going to give you random questions. But the best way to study using Uworld is when you go to the med search section, you'll see it has like cardiac, it has respiratory, it has hematology, eyes, nose, ear, like blah, blah, blah. So now you go by system. This is how you need to study. You click on cardiac section. When you click on cardiac section, it'll give you questions about cardiac, and just do cardiac. Don't do anything else. I'm telling you, because the more you do cardiac question, the more you'll see questions about MI, the more you see questions about heart failure. Repetition helps. So the more you read those rationales about those questions, it'll help you to answer the subsequent questions that you're going to ask about, that you're going to answer about cardiac. So make sure you do that. If you don't do that, It's going to be all over the place. Like they're going to give a question about respiratory, like you have one, like you get a question about respiratory, and then before you know it, you get a question about MI, and then before you know it, you get a question about GI. Like it's just all over the place. So make sure you go by system. When you go by system, it helps you to stay focused, and it helps you to know what is your strength and what is your weakness. So if you're doing just cardiac and you're saying, and you can tell that cardiac, you're getting the questions really wrong, you're doing really terrible, then you can go to Uworld and put like maybe Uworld and put it right there and say, you know, MI, and then, you know, you watch, you know, different videos. But one of the YouTubers that I use is Sarah Register Nurse. Like she does a phenomenal job. She is the best. She explains stuff to the simplest term. So make sure you utilize her. She's really good. If Uworld is not really explaining it well for you, you can use her and she's going to help you with answering those questions. Okay? So that is what you need to do. Just go by system and it'll really help you. It might not really sound like, you know, like, it might not really sound helpful, but it's really helpful. What is the next thing you need to do? Uworld has a place where you can create a flashcard. So for example, you're doing a question and you come across something like it has pictures. So Uworld has pictures. So you can create a flashcard and have the pictures there and just, you know, go back and flip and look at it while you're in your car. You can just be looking at your flashcard, or maybe if you're driving with someone, you can be looking at your flashcard. That is the best way to use Uworld. Like, what are you thinking? So make sure you use that, and make sure you download the app, the Uworld app, because when I was using Uworld, like sometimes I'll have a doctor's appointment while I'm waiting for doctor. You know how long the doctors they take to, you know, see you. So we know that. Yes, we know that. So I mean, you know, it takes 2 hours, and guess what? Sometimes I end up doing like 30 questions. Yeah. So you can just get the Uworld app, and also you can also maybe with your friends, you can also use that while you're with friends. So make sure you really utilize the Uworld app. Now I want to talk about the mark section. There's a place also in Uworld where you can mark. So if you're doing a question and you didn't get it right and you don't want to create a flashcard, you can mark the question. Now the coolest thing about marking the question is you can go back and redo the question that you have marked. Now I would recommend that you redo the question a week later. It'll help you to know, like, to really tell if you really understood the rationale, you know. In that way, you doing it a week later, if you get it right, hey, you know, you're gonna get it on, you know, when you take the Nclex. So that's a good thing. So just make sure you wait maybe 3 days or 4 days or a week before you redo the mark question. So that's something that you want to do. Okay, so now what is the next thing you need to do? Make sure when you take the Nclex is so big with doing delegation and prioritization. So if you are not going to finish your Uworld question, make sure you finish delegation and prioritization, because the Nclex was so big on that. They're not going to ask you what disease process is this, what disease process is that. No, it's going to ask you which patient will you follow up. So make sure you really know delegation and prioritization is a key thing. Make sure you really understand what patient, which patient you would follow up. Next is psych. Well, I don't know, maybe because psych, you know, psych is really more about communication. The Nclex is like, to me, when I took it, it was like more broad. So psych, like it asks, like it will ask you a lot of questions about communication. So make sure, if you're not good with psych, or if you're one of those people that are rude like me, that just say anything, make sure you review psych, because that is also going to play a part, and it's going to also help you to pass the Nclex. Okay, so when I started studying, how I studied, what is the first thing I did? I did fundamentals first. I told you guys how to use the Uworld, the features Uworld has. But now I want to tell you what I did first. I did fundamentals first because fundamentals is something that I took long time ago, maybe a year and 6 months ago. So I did fundamentals first. After I felt comfortable with that, then I did med surg, and then I did towards the end, that's when I did towards like 5 days or a week before my test, that's when I started doing delegation and prioritization. So I hope you guys, this is helpful. Stay positive, pray, make sure you don't take too long, make sure you don't reschedule, keep rescheduling, make sure you stay positive, make sure, it's a whole long list that I just said. I can't remember everything else. You know, just if you need to remember, just go back and fast forward and rewind, and you'll get the info. So what is my take on the Nclex? Is the Nclex too hard? I can't tell you that, but one thing I can tell you is, if I can do it, you can do it. Make sure you stay positive, make sure you stay focused, and make sure you stay determined. The Nclex, it's not really that bad. It's just, you just have to study the right content, and you just have to stay focused, and trust me, you are going to pass the Nclex. Thank you so much for watching. Please help me to grow this YouTube channel. What are you doing? Didn't you just enjoy this video? Did I not entertain you enough for you to click that button? Go ahead, click, like, and subscribe. I'll share a video on how I applied to different jobs, how I landed my job. I haven't started working, but I'm gonna give you guys a full detail my next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you really like this video, please, what are you waiting for? Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Adios. Bye bye. Mwah.